which will then cause the animation to restart. So the code is slow and wrong in this case. So the right thing to do here is to make this not reactive to the start time. So I keep saying the word reactive. Reactive means anytime state changes, React will re-render the component. That's what I mean by reactive. And there is a way to opt out of reactivity in React. It's called refs. So there's an API called useRefs, and you can store any value in it. And when that value changes, React does not re-render that component, so it's not reactive. So going back to our example, we have the state here that we can change to use a ref instead. And then we can update our set state call to just update the ref. So now updating the ref does not trigger any side effect. There's no re-rendering of the component. So this now has the right behavior and also is fast. So whenever you update state, think about, or whenever you have state that is not used in your JSX, then think again if that should actually be state or not. So that's like a good smell to have. Like if you're doing code review and you see the code the state not being used in the JSX, then think again about, is this the right pattern? Okay, cool. So this is a fun one. This is a bit complex, but let's go over it in step by step. So this is how you do focus in React. So imagine you have like an input component that you want to focus when it mounts. That's the use case here, right? Like you have a form and then it loads, and then you want the user's text, like the cursor, to be focused on it, right? You don't want them to actually click on it and then start typing. This is better UX. But there's a problem, there's multiple problems with this approach. One is the effects are flushed after paint. So the user will see the input and then it will get focused. But you actually want them to happen at the same time. So the timing is a bit off. So there can be certain UX issues with this code. And there's like other issues as well. For example, the use effect in this component will run after this component mounts. It doesn't necessarily have to run after the input component mounts, right? What you actually want is you want that input component to mount onto the page, display onto the page, and then focus on when that mounts, not when this, the higher level component, the parent component mounting. So there's like a mismatch in the timing. So there's a way to fix this. This is called, there's this new API. Well, it's been around for a while, but it's not well known. It's called ref callback. So you can pass a callback to the ref prop, and React will call this callback when that component is mounted onto the page. So when this div is added to the HTML, this console log is emitted. So this is exactly what we need, right? Going back to our example, we're using an effect to focus, but instead, we can just pass in the callback to the component, and then the component mounts and React calls it. But there's a catch here. The ref callback will get called on whenever the callback identity changes. So the problem here is the ref callback is created on render, is recreated on every render. So the identity changes because that's how JavaScript works. So it's basically a new function on every render. And you're passing a new function to the input component, and the input component says, hey, this is a new callback, I should call it. And then it calls it, and then it calls it again on every render. So every render will make make this component get focused, which is also not the UX we want. So we have the general fix that people do is, is to use a callback, use callback. So this memoizes and caches the component, caches the callback. And as long as the component doesn't unmount, it's always the same function that's used. So this fixes the problem. So we're all good, right? And technically that's true, but you shouldn't be using memoization for correctness. Use callback and use memo. They're APIs provided by React for caching values and computations. And they should be only used for performance, never for correctness. So this is, don't do this. This is bad practice. So we're back to square one now, right? So what's the way to fix this? Well, thinking more about this, it's actually okay to call this function on every render. The problem is we don't want to focus to be called on every render, right? Like the problem is not the calling the callback, it's the focus. So maybe let's have a non-reactive state, which is a ref that has some Boolean to store if we have called the focus already or not. So I have a ref, and then I check the ref. Hey, have we focused already? If we have, then don't call focus. If not, call it. Right? Pretty straightforward. And this is the right way to write this code. And it's so you're no longer depending on memoization for correctness. Cool. Okay. This is a fun one. This is something I've seen a lot at Meta in our code bases, which is updating state in effects. So this is a simple video post example that I copied from Instagram codebase. What they do is they look at the current ID of the post, the currently displayed post, from the context, and then check if this post is the same as the one that's being displayed, and then that's stored in is visible. And this is visible is now stored in some state. And they use an effect to set state whenever is visible changes. Right? It seems okay, but there's actually a lot of issues here. The main reason people do this is they want this component to re-render when is visible changes. That's the reason to have state. Right? When state changes, we want to re-render. But let's think more about how this value is derived. So we've got is playing, which is derived from the is visible value, which is based on video and current ID, which are themselves derived from props and context, right? But if we think about it, props and context are reactive. Whenever props and context change, the component does re-render. So there's actually no need for that state. So going back to our example, we can just delete that state and just use that value, because as long as is visible will, as long as props and context changes, this component will re-render, is visible will change, is playing will also change. So now we don't actually need is visible, we can just use is playing, and now we don't also need the effect. So your component code is now very straightforward. There's no need to have state at all. So if you have effects and you are setting state in an effect, think about, is this actually necessary? So that's like another code smell is don't set state in effects. Okay, this is actually something that's very intuitive, but not a lot of people think about this. I actually didn't know about this too much. I hadn't internalized this pattern until I joined the team. But it's actually pretty straightforward. So we have an effect that updates some analytics code when you're showing that component. And you have an on-click handler that updates some state. And you have some JSX. This is pretty straightforward, right? I've written code like this, and I thought it was good. But it's actually not if you think more about this. The problem is the update analytics, think about when that's being called. So the lifecycle is you have a button, the user clicks on that button, the event handler runs, state updates, the component re-renders, and then the effect fires. So the effect fires 4 or 5 life cycles after the actual event, right? And there could be other things happening in the middle that could cause the effect to not run at all. So you could lose the analytics. So instead, the right thing to do here is to just put the side effect in your event handler. So you don't need the effect at all. And now it will automatically happen at the right time. So the main takeaway here is you can have side effects in event handlers. Don't only put it in effects. Anything you do in effects can be done in events, mostly, I think. Cool. Okay, this is my favorite one. When I when I joined the React team, a lot of our thinking was always when we thought about how to build APIs, a lot of our core design principles was about what are the primitives necessary to build great apps, right? And how do we make those APIs performant? So it's never about what are the APIs to make fast apps. It's always about building apps that are complex and enabling better UX. That's the guiding principle, right? And but then we messed up in with these APIs. We had to have some APIs that helped improve performance because of the way JavaScript works. So it's just like a fundamental limitation that we had to work around, and that limitation is manual memorization. So if you aren't familiar with these APIs, these APIs let you cache some values so you don't recompute them. So you basically improve performance. That's the main trait. So if you think about it, it's actually not helping you build better apps. It's only for performance. So this goes against the core principles of what we want. So naturally, we built something to delete those APIs. So we have this thing called React Compiler. If you install the React Compiler, it will automatically cache and add these memorization calls to your app. So you don't have to use any of these APIs. You can go back to building apps. You can think about building, writing code that helps your product, helps your business, and not about focusing on performance. Cool. So a lot of what I talked about today is already in the React devs. I just copied a lot of content from this. So if you want to see more patterns, go on this page. There's a lot of documentation on the best ways to write React. I highly recommend everyone reads this. It serves both as a how to get started and also as a reference manual. So please dig into this site. And cool, yeah, that's all the content I have for you. Thank you.
So guys, do you have any questions to Sathya?
Oh, yeah, I can.
So I've seen some people take a little extreme in the sense that you should not do any effects in your code base at all. Don't use effect. Use events, use anything else, use refs, but don't use effects at all. Do you think that's a good way to approach this? Because effects usually make your code base a little hard to read every now and then, right? So do you think that's a good approach to take?
Yeah, I think that's a good approach to take. I think if you see an effect in your code base, think twice about should this be an effect or should this go somewhere else. There are still valid use cases for an effect, so maybe it's okay to have that particular effect, but in general, you should not be writing effects. I would be very shocked if I actually did this. So we have the Threads app, right? The Threads website that we built at Meta. I actually looked at every single effect in that code base. That app had 60 different use effects, and out of that, there were only 10 that were valid. So a site like Threads has only 10 valid use effects. So if your site is as complex as Threads and has a lot more, then maybe think twice about the effects. So yeah, that advice is good advice. Don't write effects. Try to minimize effects. Any other?
So one question. Sorry. So you said about avoiding use effects, right? So earlier we had different life cycle methods. So to overcome that, so we had the use effect and then the mounting, unmounting. So we used to do in the use effect, right? So how we can minimize that so without the use effect.
There are certain valid use cases that you want to run on mount. In that case, then a use effect is fine. But in a lot of cases, you can get that same behavior with something else. Like in the example I showed you with the ref callback, right? That was a use effect that ran on mount, but we removed it and put it in a ref callback, and that worked the same, right? It was better UX even. So in a lot of ways, think about, is this the right place to put the code, or is there a better place to put the code? But if you have to do this on mount, then use effect. That's why it exists. But I haven't seen a lot of valid use cases for that.
So one more question, like what is a recommended way? Like earlier we used to kickstart the React app with create React app CRA, right? So now like we have multiple options like White, Next.js, Remix, like so any recommendations are like?
So if you go on the React website, then you can use the create Vite app. If you want to create like a full-fledged app that with like SSR and server components, then we recommend using a meta framework like Next or Remix or Redwood. So these are the new options.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So the question I had is about the follow-up on one of the, where you mentioned about using a use callback when passing it to the input element.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to understand, if we pass that value as a part of the event, is it going to, I'm just trying to interpret, if you are mentioning about whenever there is a state change that is happening in other input types, it is also going to trigger the re-render, because of which the cursor is going to come back to the same first element which you have used, the focus effect. Is that correct?
So no, whenever the parent component that has that defines the callback, when that changes, or when that re-renders, a new callback is created, and that new callback is passed to the input ref object, right? Since the parent component re-renders, the child component, which is the input component, will also re-render, right? And it will see, hey, I have a new ref callback, I should call this, and I will call that. So we're preventing this by memoizing the callback. So we're always gonna, even if the child input component changes, it's gonna see, hey, it was the previous existing ref callback. So I don't have to call it again, I've already called it, so it won't call. That's the way we're fixing.
Say if you have multiple input elements and there is one specific thing where you have the focus effect, how is it going to affect the other input elements as a part of it?
So you only, with the approach that I showed you, where you have a ref callback, you can pass in the callback just to that specific input element. You don't have to pass it to all of them.
Correct.
That's how I would. Or if there's like multiple layers of components in between, pass it down as a prop, and then pass it just to that input ref that you need.
Got it. Whenever the state changes in other input element, it is also going to trigger a re-render, and it is going to create a new ref callback.
No. The ref callback is going to be in the parent component.
Got it.
Right.
With the existing approach, without using the use callback option which you have mentioned, if we directly pass it as a part of the node, and then.
So it depends on how you structure the app.
Okay.
Right. Like if you have some state in the input that is just in that input component, then the parent component is not going to re-render. Only the input will re-render. But if there is state that it's changing that is used by the parent component, then the parent component will also re-render.
Got it. So
Yeah.
the major problem is about the same component or the same input element that is changing is going to trigger a re-render, and that is going to continuously create a change or the ID change over there, right?
So it's not about the input component. I would think more about the parent component. The parent component is re-rendering, which is causing the new function, right? The parent component changing and causing the parent to change is a side effect. That's not the main problem. The main problem is the parent component changing.
Thanks.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions. I don't know if we have time.
Yeah,
One more.
yeah. So I have a question on the first start transition hook.
Okay.
Yeah, so it will take care of which is important, which is not important task, correct?
So any state update that you wrap in a start transition will be a low priority update.
Okay.
Anything else, any other state update that happens outside a transition is a high priority update. So
Okay.
React will split the updates as high and low.
Okay. so in the Instagram example you provided, right? So the state update, according to our requirement, the state update will happen only after closing the dialog box or the status, correct?
Sure. What we want is to update the state as soon as possible when we have time, right? So what React will do is when there's free time, so it will show the overlay. Maybe there's some free time, and then it will say, hey, I have some free time. I need to do some work. Is there any low priority work I can do now? And I'll go take that work and I'll update it. So it can happen at any point. It doesn't have to happen when the overlay goes away.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
that kind
yeah.
of answers my question. So my question was, if we want to do the state update right after closing the overlay, what if there are other priority tasks other than the state update, which will delay the, changing the status?
Right. So React will stop the low priority update and do the high priority update then. Then your UX may change. Your UI
Yeah.
might go out of sync.
Yeah.
So that's something you have to think about how to do.
Yeah. So there is a chance that it will get delayed
There is a chance.
if
yes.
there are other
If-
priority tasks.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. I think we're out of time, right?
So,
But I will be around. So if you have questions, you can please come talk to me after.
yeah, sure. So Sathya will be here till 6:30, and we also have a networking session after the second speaker. So you can ask all your doubts to him in the networking session. So guys, do you like this place? Are you comfortable here? Okay, so this is because of a venue sponsor, Unique. We have Shakti and Kadambari, the CEO and co-founder of Unique. So I welcome them to the stage to speak a few words about Unique and what they do.
So, how are you all? Are you enjoying this event? Yes, that's amazing. Like over a weekend, it's really great to see so many people, coming together to talk about technology. And that, makes us feel like there is still hope, for India. I hope you are all able to listen to us till then. All right.
இல்லையா இது கேக்குதா இங்கதான் கேக்குதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Can you hear me in the back? No? இல்லையா? இல்ல நம்ம இதிலே பேசிப்போம். Okay. So thank you everyone. Is it audible in the back? Is it good? Okay. So we both are part of the founding team of Unique. So we started this company about 7 years ago. We started this as a consulting company with the vision that we wanted to become a product company, by 10-year mark, right? So that is the journey. Is it audible now? Sorry. So we are almost 7 years in our journey, and in another 3 years we wanted to become a product company. We use a variety of technologies to build our products, right? So she will be talking about those. First of all, thank you all for coming to this event, and we are very happy to sponsor this event, partnering with Chennai React Group, and we had an event in the morning as well. It was really hopeful that there are so many people on a Saturday coming to a tech event to participate, right? So my one request to the fellow community members, right? So wherever you are, make sure you take a pride in being part of this tech community and do your part, and make India proud, right? So we wanted to see India is not a cheap and poor and country, where we wanted to really see wherever we go, we wanted to see people are praising about Indian tech community, right? So these guys are great, they build great products, but it is not just by any company can achieve, it is by the individuals who contribute in every company, right? So that's the request I used to make with every meetings. So I'll share it with Kadambari, she'll share a few words.
So we used to travel across the world all the time, and we have seen that India is one of the most technologically advanced country compared to any other country in the world. But when we talk to our clients, when we try to do business with people, the typical knowledge that they have about India is that, any kind of product or project that comes out of them, any service that they provide, it's not up to the mark. It's quite poor. They are not very happy about, what we are offering to them. So, we started this company with a vision that we have to change this. So we started building, world's finest products in the market where, we can compete with anybody from the world and create amazing solutions that only you can imagine, right? So that is the kind of passion we wanted to bring to the tech community in India. And if any of you are really, really passionate about building great things for us and to make us proud in front of the world platform, right? We request you guys to come, connect with us and join us in, holding hands to create that impact in the world. So we have a couple of products, and all our products are built with React.js. And you should take a look at some of the demonstrations to really see how great we have built it. Amazing UI experiences and the kind of performance that we bring to our products are, great. So we have a passionate team who are working for us, but we are still open to hire senior resources who are absolutely interested in doing challenging work that can, question the norms that is already out there in the world. So if you are that kind of person, I kindly request you, join us and probably, make India proud.
Thank you.
So it's not just you, right? Even if you know someone who you would like to refer to us, we'll be very happy to offer, a 1 lakh bonus for someone who is referring a really, good resource to us. So we are open for all those things. So if you are interested, or if you know someone who are interested in doing this, please come and connect with us. And thank you once again for joining all together and creating this event a great success. I'll just hand it over to.
Thank you so much, Shakti, and thank you so much, Kadambari. And also, if you actually check their website, they have a developer-first company, and it's really rare to see a company which is actually wanting to make India proud. So let's give a round of applause again for Shakti and Kadambari. So to Shanti, who's going to introduce our next speaker of the day.
Yeah, our next speaker is Bavithra Ravichandran, who is an empowering woman and a shining example of how career paths can be surprisingly unpredictable. She learned electrical engineering, but she's an SDE3 in Walmart Global Technologies now. And she's also a content creator who runs a growing YouTube channel. I do have an interesting cutie story about her. She helped a rural boy who was struggling to find a tech job in the city. The boy was like even working in tea shops for some part-times and for his survival. He reached her through her YouTube videos, and later they both collaborated, and now the guy had got a full stack job in a startup, and all credit goes to Bavithra for that. And today she is here to unreveal the like a mystery of logging and monitoring systems in React.js. And let's give it up for Bavithra.
Thank you so much, Shanti, for introducing me. So I'm Bavithra. So as she said, right, like I'm working in Walmart as SDE3. So actually, I started my career at 2017 as a full stack developer, and I have been moving to specializing for front-end engineer. So is it audible over there? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and then I have been working in different domains like e-commerce website and enterprises and management system like that. And apart from professional, right? So recently I have been working over in YouTube, and I found of like teaching and mentorship. So I'm just helping for my whole sort, like that's all. And Today I am going to talk about the power of logging and monitoring. So this is a topic which is essential for every developer has to know, especially a front-end developer. So I'm just, today we are going to see all those session in here. So what we are going to talk about today is related to logging. Actually, what is logging and what to log like that, and what is a different type of logging, right? Especially in the front end, like which we have to log, whether the performance or user interaction or what else. So that things and all we are going to see, and about the tools. So there are different tools in the market, open sources, free and paid also. So here we can see one or two tools like that, and with that event matrices, right? We have the collection of matrices. With that, what we are going to do, like we are monitoring it and alerting it, right? So we are creating some alerts. With that alert, we are going to fix the job. So this whole system, right? We are giving the customer a good, best support system like that, right? So it is not the developer perspective, but for the customer perspective, this system is so important, right? And of course, last we have some time for the healthy discussion, like we both learn from each other. And about this section, right? This power of monitoring and telemetry things. Like first, like in 2024 and all, like we are having the ideal load time for the web application is 2 seconds, right? If our application is not logged under like 3 seconds, means our 40% of the customer is left our application. So the performance is matter, and also speed is matter. So that is our main aim actually, right? So in this module, right, what we are going to see means like how we are going to increase user perspective, and also how we are going to collect all those telemetries and event matrices, and we are going to give a good system for the customers, right? So yeah, here there is a collecting thing, right? Over here, we are going to collect several matrices, like the performance matrix, and also event thing, like user what interaction they are doing in the system, whether they are clicking, scrolling, what they are doing like that. And also we have so many things. We are going to dip into the tool, and after we are collecting every data, right? What we are going to do? We are going to monitor it. So by collecting all those data, we are giving some threshold, and then if the threshold is exceeded, then we have to act on. So that's the thing. And after that, if any alert system has happened, any error has happened, what we have to do, like how we are going to fix it up. We are not directly jump into and fix it each and every error, right? So how we are going to handle. So this is a main idea of this thing. And benefits for this. So actually we have so many benefits, but here there is some highlights over there. So the first one is observability. Like since we are collecting all those data, and we have the whole dashboard and everything, right? So we have gain a visibility of what error is happening and how we are going to prevent before it happened, right? And related to the performance optimization, we also collect every performance-based thing, like how it has been loading on what time, and whether it has been done in a browser or like that, right? So we could know like how we need to do the performance in terms of LCP, like the paint thing, right? Logistic and first input delay like that. And the second one is, yeah, that's thing, like we have the anonymous alert so that we have the a good support system. And also on the, this is a so important one, improving the user experience. Because we are closely monitoring the user, right? What they are doing inside our web application, whether they are clicking or doing interaction, whether they do going this page, like that we are closely looking after them. So we could know what is the user perspective and what they need. So we are giving that much thing, and in the data analyst. So this data analyst and the data scientist and all, like they are working in the data, right? So what is needed in the business perspective, like whether they have enhanced, like, and forecasting plan like that. So so this much, like we could earn the customer loyalty for our application. So that's a main important point. And the other thing is auditing and security. Since we have all history of data, so we are good at auditing and security also. And yeah, the first thing, which is logging and telemetry. So over here, the main purpose of this, what is, like, we are collecting the source of data and we are going to persist it. So that's the main thing. So this is helpful for debugging it. If any error occurs, we are just looking into the collection of data and what the user is did like that. And it is very helpful for the investigation purpose and debugging purpose, especially for the developers. And how we are going to collect the data. So first we have to keep in mind, like we have to capture what unnecessary, not unnecessary data, because that is also rule our system. So we have to know what we have to collect and how we need to classify it. So these two things we have to keep in your mind. And yeah, this is a type of logging, right? First one is performance matrices. In the performance matrices, that is so important, right? As a web application and as a front-end engineer, we should have our a good performance. So for that, first one is web vital. So loading, right? How much time it's taking at the first time. Then how long it takes, how long it give the response. This response time is like how your API you going to handshake, right? HTTP handshake, REST API. So these things and all, how long it takes. So that logic and all, it will be collecting. And feature and scenario based. Like if you have any feature, if you are developing something, right? That feature, how long it takes. So we are going deep into the feature specific also. And the resource timing is like if you're having, like we are going to use simple HTTP, CSS and JavaScript. But sometimes our system is, the CPU and memory and all is full. So sometimes our whole system itself trapped, right? Why it has been happened, and more or less that is in user thing. They are sitting somewhere in US and we are in India. So how we have to monitor that things and all. This and all easy by this thing. And yeah, this is under network and frame rates, like how it has been happened, whether the frame rates is down or drop like that. And the resources error. So here, right, this is an API thing. Like if for example, Amazon or Flipkart means we are getting to the cart, right? If you add to cart, but it is been not working. It is showing like out of stock like that. So why it has been happened, we don't know, right? We are sitting in India. So what is happening over there? Like that we can check whether it is a 500 or 400 error like that, whether bad request or authentication or API failure, network failure, and client exceptional means any JavaScript exceptional is happened over there or not. That things also is there. And as I said, resource utilization as we the monitoring of CPU and the memory allocation and the user interaction, which I have said, right? We are going to monitor everything like click, scroll, and what they are doing, and if the we have the step-by-step form submission means how the things is happening, whether a user is engaged till the end of the form or not, like that we are going to do. So that with that we have the decision whether we have to shorten the form, make it a single thing or not like that. And browser event, yeah, we see as a front end, right, this is a so important one, because as a browser event we don't know like user perspective. Some user is like doing like keyboard thing and shortcuts they are using. Somebody has a touch screen like that, right? So we have to get that details and all. So we can improve our application to next level by implementing accessibility like that. Custom event, like custom event means if you are having any e-commerce website, so that specific overall that, like if you are having purchase something like that purchase history or some payment history, like that we can do the custom events also. And related to the tools, we have n number of in the market, like n number of tools in the market. Like these are the free and open source, like Microsoft Clarity and Google Analytics, or this too was awesome, literally, like it is free. And if you are doing as a mini project, that also you can use it up. And Sentry also is one of the good thing. And LogRocket and Open Telemetry. And there is a Grafana also and Zentuity also. This things and all is paid thing. Okay. So now I'm just like walk into the Microsoft Clarity. Yeah, this is a Microsoft Clarity dashboard. So here I am going to show you literally a super thing which as a user, right, as a developer, we like surprised like that, right? So this is a dashboard, right? So here, right, this is a dashboard for the Clarity itself, Microsoft Clarity itself. So this says is how many users are intent, like how many medium intent, low intent, high intent, like that. And there are some other insights like dead clicks, exclusive scoring, like that. And see, other things are not here, referral. So referral in the sense like from where it is been coming from. Like for example, if you're having Amazon website, so this Amazon website, you directly go and type it in Google, or directly you go into a URL and type it the Amazon, or otherwise in the YouTube also, there are people who are influencer or promoting, right? So from there also you come in, and WhatsApp also you coming. So from which resources you are coming in through this thing. So this is useful for the marketing and data analyst and for the developers also. So that is called referral. And related to the channel, whether this is organic search or direct or others or referral, like that. And if you have campaign, then that also is there. And sources, as I said before, like from which sources it's coming from. And other things and all, as I said before, like browser. How many people are using which browser, like Chrome, Edge, Safari, like that. So if Safari is not being used by most of the people, then you can get into Safari, and then you just develop a good feature towards that, right? So you can take a decision on developer perspective. And also devices. So whether people are using PC or mobile or iPad, like that. So with respect to that, you could understood whether we have to create a responsive or unresponsive thing or not. And related to the operating system also, we do have a Windows, Android, and iOS, like that. And so that we could, these things and all we are countering means we have to take an objective decision when we are writing the code. So that's a thing. And overall country, how many people are using in different country, and performance overall, like how much LCP and FID, these things and all you all know, right? How fast it is being loaded, like that. So these things also we could know. So it also gives whether it is in good state or medium or low, like that. And what and all top pages. So here only one URL, but in case of Amazon or Flipkart means how many pages is there and which is top pages over there, like that. And entry page, exit page, that things also. And if any error in the JavaScript, right? So what and all error has been happened, and whether it is script or not defined, like that also. And the another thing is, this is a mind-blowing one, which is recording. See here, it is giving the recording also, right? You able to see here, right? So it is loading up. User is coming in, and see, they are coming in and they are clicking, they are going to here and they are coming here, right? So we are also able to record the user section also. So here as a developer, we don't need like connecting to the user and then just give the respective steps or not, like that, right? We are directly seeing the sessions recording and we figure out what they are did, so why this error has happened. So this is a cool feature actually, which is provided by this logging and telemetry tools and all. And yeah, this is like it showing everything, like whether it is India, or PC or Mac OS like that. And there are another thing is also there. This is heat map. So it is showing like, so in the website, right, users where and all they clicked. See here, they are clicked so much, right? Red and all, they are clicking 500,000 like that. So why this and all clicked? And you could also verify why this things and all is not clicked, why this things and all not clicked. Like that you can check it up. So that you can displace that particular element to some other place. Like that also we can take a decision. And here you also see the scroll, like how much scroll is happened, like till end how many peoples are going, like 50 people's only, 50% of the people's only going. Like here, right, it is scrolling like this much people's only going at the end. So like that you can check it up. And in the area, how many, like in this particular page, like in this position, 30% of peoples are using. Here 14% only, here 3%, 9% only. Like that, right? It is giving the area perspective also. So that you, if you are having any high feature, then you can put it in here, right? Like this. So this is a Microsoft Clarity, and the another one is Google Analytics. Okay, so yeah, I forgot this thing. Okay, so in the Google, so this much feature, right? So how we need to incorporate in our project? That's the main thing, right? What things and all we, how many efforts we have to need to incorporate these things and all. Like I just get into my project, okay? So it's landing into getting started. So here there is 3 ways, right? A third-party platform or NPM like that, and through manual. So here this line itself enough for incorporating that dashboard. So if you paste it and copy and paste it over there, then this itself enough for creating the dashboard for your application. So you have to put it this in your header. So that's all. And so next one is Google Analytics. The same thing, same dashboard, but some different UI. So over here you could understood this real-time overview, like how many people's, like across the world, how many people are using, they are where and all they are located. So these things and all you able to see, and also real-time pages and related to the acquisition, right? Like engagement. So in 1 minute, yeah, acquisition, right? So how many users, which and all pages they are going, and whether there is a cross or paid search or direct search, organic search. As I said before, they are showing how many section is logged like that. And related to the traffic acquisition, the same thing, like whether it is paid or, as I said before, right, paid or from organic search or referral or like that, right? From which resource they are coming from. And on the engagement point of view, yeah, on engagement point of view, like users, right, where they are going, like, for example, in the Amazon, which pages and all they are going for. Like here, how many pages they are user engagement, like that, which and all events they are going like that, and how the events and all is going, how the engagement is happening in throughout our application like that. And on the monetization, if our application is doing monetize, then we could also have this thing, like how many revenue, total revenue, and how it has been going in the map like that. And at last retention also is there. Yeah, here retention. So retention is like user, how long they are persist in your application throughout the thing. Like they are coming in, and but they are on days goes, right, it has been decreasing, right? So you could understood why people are going out like that, right? So this is Google Analytics, and here also the same thing, like the same set of thing. 1 minute, I let open it. So the same kind of script is been there. So that script you have to put it in your head, so that head tag, so that this whole dashboard itself created up. So okay, so this is the script. Okay, this set of script you have to put it in your head, so that this Google Analytics dashboard is created for your own application. So this also actually this gives a like significant impact on our application, right? Because it gives us full support for us like that. And Sentry actually most of the people knows, but I just have a glimpse over there. So here also we have the issues, how many issues is been happened like that. And if we have the type error, right? So if I get into a type error, so where it has been located, see, like where it has been located, in which file, like that and all it is been giving, right? And which release, which URL, which environment, which level, which OS, like that it is giving everything for our type error, right? For our developer, like which place the error is there, like that and all it's been giving. And on the performance perspective, it is giving every transaction, like users, it's giving every transaction, how many users and how it has been opened, whether P50, P95, whether how many failure rate is there, like that. And yeah, and on Web Vital, as I said before, right? On Web Vital, like how many LCP and FCP is there, whether it has been increases or decreasing, whether this is a P75 or P50, which matrices is come from, like that everything it is there. So whether our application is in good or bad or poor, like that everything is going on, and every transition also they are giving at the bottom, right? How many per second, the average time of that, and how many users, everything it is giving for the front end, back end, and also mobile. Like for it is giving like that also. Here also we have the replay thing. Like this is a next level of it. Like if I play it right, so it is like it is the network also is going on, and also console also going on. So we as a local setup, right? How we are going to do? So everything it is going on. So this is a user section, right? But they are using it somewhere in the world. But we are sitting in our place, and then we are watching what they are doing and why this error happened. So this much debugging things is giving. So see here, network and DOM events, issues, how many issues, memory and traces, everything it's showing up. Like how many like levels it's going, like that, right? So this is a Sentry. I think actually if I have time, like I can go these things also. So I'm just going another thing. So LogRocket and Open Telemetry and all, I cover it in fixing and monitoring thing. So as of now, we have collected all the data and matrices, everything we collected in our hand. So what we are going to do, right? So we are going to, in monitoring, we are going to set some threshold in terms of performance, in terms, if it is a payment role, right? That is a hot fix. So that is not coming to here. But if you have any error or user interaction error, like that means that you have been set any threshold over the value, and then if it is exceeded, then we have to come into a picture for the fixing up, right? So this is a monitoring thing. So once the event is once we have collected all the data, then the set threshold has to be put. There's some value you have to put it over there. If the value is exceeded, then alert system is to be happen, right? On setting the threshold, like in which perspective? So as I said before, like for the payroll things and all, that and all hot fix. For that things and all, we don't need to put the threshold. We directly step into it and we have to fix it up. But for the performance base or resource or user is clicking so much times, like that, right? That some malicious has happened in the website. So that things and all, we have to put the set threshold over there. So if the value would exceed it, then alert system has to be happen in different terms, right? Either in SMS or email or Slack or on call, or also these are the other tools. So this is also helpful for our alerting system, right? I think till this you're all aligned, I think, right? Yeah, thank you. Override, yeah, here, right, as I said before, Sentry. So how we are going to put the alerting system over here? So these are all alerts, okay? These are all alerts happen. So if you are going to create an alert, right? So here issues, how many issues is there? How many number of, like, we have to put some number for that. If it is exceeded, then we have to take an action, right? So we have to give in which transaction duration, failure rate, and logistic contentful paint, and FID, and CLC. These things and all, we have to give a value for that, okay? So once we have set the condition, see, here we have to put whether it is a critical issue or warning or result, like that, what action we have to put in, like we have to enter everything, like which environment, whether it is Android or iOS, like that. So once we have been created the rule, right, this rule is been up, so it is monitoring our whole matrices. So if anything has happened, any this alert has been done, right, then this alert has been like either way, like through SMS or on call, like anything, it's been alerting us, right? But what's the main benefit of monitoring means, like if you are giving a best support to our customer, this thing is so important. If you are ready to like monitoring 24/7, right? So that is fine, but that is could not be happen, right? For that reason only we have to put it this. So if you are having a good alert system, then we are taking some rest. If anything alert is triggered means, then we have to come into one picture. Whether either call or mail or Slack is coming means, then we come into a picture. Or otherwise we have to monitor everything without alert system, right? So that's a main benefits of that. And next thing is fixing up. So on fixing, right, there are, see, we have so much alerting system. So if, as of now, like in a mini project means we have 10 or 20 bugs, but in the terms of Amazon, Flipkart, there are millions of people who are working on, right? Users are working on. So in that perspective, like thousands or 2,000 error happen. So in that, like this much thing, you are not directly jump into and fixing the error. We have to follow some protocol, right? For that, we have to prioritize, like whether the critical, P0 means critical, we have to jump into and you have to finish in that call itself. And P1 is, it's okay, like we have to, like 1 or 2 days. And P2 means like a week is fine. And P3 means like a couple of weeks is fine. So like that, we have to prioritize and then we have to take an action. And next one is debugging. So there is a say like, if you want to be a good developer, right, then you should be having a good debugging skill. So so for that, you have to enhance that skill. So for that is the source map is a good tool actually for, if I don't know whether source map you have used or not, but that is a good thing because it is showing where the error has been happened. So it's easy for developer to figure out what is the flaw over there. And section reply, as I show you, right, we no need of asking the customer to show and what they did or what is the steps and all to in order to reproduce the error like that. So we are simply sitting in our place and just replay that record and then we figure out, oh, okay, user is doing this, so we have to rectify in this way, like that, right? So that's a debugging thing. And mitigation, if we are on the mitigation step, like what we have to do, how we need to resolve it, right? First one is rollback. So already we are releasing in section by section, tag by tag, right? So if anything has happened, then we have to roll it back to the next previous version. Mostly like companies are going, mostly teams is going to resolve this one only, but hot fixes in some time. Like hot fixes means this also follows so many instructions like PR review is there and so many reviews is there, pipeline is there, this configuration, everything is done, then only hotfix is done. So hotfix is like single line, like for that error, that code alone is going to the deployment. So that's a hotfix. And then prevention. So actually mitigation itself is not a solution, right? We have to prevent it before that, or else again and again error is coming, again and again we have to resolve it. So that we have to prepare a system in that way, like the error has not be happened in the second time. So in the prevention, like on development side itself, you have to use a unit testing and type check and linting and all, you have to do it in automatic way. And also rate limiting, meaning like unnecessary API and all you should not call. And on security and performance also you have to be enhanced, right? I have to show the LogRocket, like how it has been, the section recording, how happened in the LogRocket, okay? So this is a thing, like here I'm just typing something like hello React like that. And here this is a secret thing, like input has to be secret. So I just write something secret like that. And I make some request and I make some filtered request like that. And this and all throw and Redux also is there. So this is a demo like that I have written. Okay, and commit to the store. And if it is go to the page and like going back to the LogRocket, like that I have done, right? So now I view the section. See, I coming in and I just typing the hello over there. Like everything is going right. Like 1 minute. Like okay, here it start. Like it's okay. I played it. Sorry. Okay, I coming in and I am showing like everything right. Here I am typing hello React. So So everything is, the calls is and all going in, and the logs and all is going in. So this and all secret, but it is not showing, right? What I am typing, it's not showing. This much things you have done in your own application, right? Actually, and throw error, everything. If error is being thrown, then here the exceptional syntax error is being thrown, and demo and everything it's showing, right? Like what and all I have did, everything is showing, and every network calls and logs and details, everything we have able to see sitting in our place itself. This much thing effective, this thing, and yeah, actually that's all. Actually, this is what I want to deliver here. So if you want to be a next level developer, right, you have to know these things and all, because apart from coding, we have to know so much thing, like how the system is working, how it should be monitored, because delivering some features, that itself, we done our work, right? But after that, how we have to maintain whether customer is happy or not, how they are logging, and how we need to provide the good system, like that. Everything we have to do for progressing our career to next level. Yeah, that's all from my side. So, do you have any questions over there? I believe. Oh, thank you.
Guys, like we'll just stop with one question because we are running out of time, but Bavithra will be here. So during the networking session, you can ask Bavithra and also Sathya.
Hi, Bavithra.
Yeah.
So am I audible?
Yeah.
So, like the tools which you was given for logging was so good actually. So, which is your best comparatively the Microsoft and Google, like Google Analytics?
No. Actually, in your perspective, on application perspective, I have show you a UI, right?
Yeah.
So, in which perspective you need, like what things and all you are going to do. So, that and all you have to see, because there are n number of things out there. Yeah. Even Zen Duty and all, right? That and all next level, but that is a paid version. So that and all is providing us with who and all working on call, and who and all is like that. Everything it's logging like that. So that and all next level. So n number of there, but here I just shown only the open source and also free thing. But yeah, you have to check it out.
From my experience, so I say, so I doesn't know about backend anything on my final year, and I start to do some mini projects for and final year. So that time my friend has suggested me to take some inputs from Google Firebase, so you can use it so easily for a backend.
Okay.
So the thing which you shown now actually,
yeah.
paste the code actually.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I followed. So it is similar to Google Analytics also. The thing which we in JavaScript. So I pasted that code. So then I go to the console monitor of Firebase and watch the backend data, how it's storing, how we can manage everything. So Google Analytics also is like same that like that.
The script you are showing.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually the same script I have shown actually.
Yeah.
Might be the same thing, like here, right? Like this is a code. Here.
Yeah, that's only.
So that's a question, right?
Yeah, that's only.
Yeah, this script you have to put it in your header so that everything is being monitored and it is come into that matrices. So you have to customize everything.
Okay.
Like if you want to customize any feature or something means you have to put some code. So that and all you have to see in the Google Docs.
So actually, in this also usability testing is having, I mean Google Analytics I'm asking, because in Microsoft I can using heat maps, so I can able to see that usability
Heat
testing.
map, yeah.
So mostly in designing perspective, for the usability testing as last phase, so we will go for and click something and use this heat map. So that same feature in this is also available.
Yeah, it's available, but I haven't show every feature shown, and which and all is not there, that I have shown in Google Analytics, and which are not that like that only, because I couldn't cover right here. Now itself.
No, I can able to understand because you're given lots of inputs towards us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bavithra.
Thank you.
So guys, let's give a round of applause to Bavithra.
Actually, 1 minute, one small request,
Yeah,
sorry.
sure.
So actually, I have recently nominated for the best content creator in Global Freelancing Festival. So actually, this is my QR code. Just please use it and then cast your vote. So actually, I planning to do a giveaway like that for giving a token of gift in the gathering. So for that, a lucky participant over there. You have to win the giveaway means you have to cast your vote and take a screenshot at the time of gift, right? You have to show me, then only you are eligible for that. Thank you.
Guys, like we have Surya from Talentship. So, Surya, over to you.
Hi guys, this is me Surya Venkatapati from Talentship as well, one of the organizers of Chennai React. So, can everyone able to speak? Hear? Hello? Okay. So there is HR desk outside near the pantry area where there is like Raj from Unique and John Lee from Talentship. So you guys can see those guys. Turn around and yeah, these are the guys waiting outside. So if you want to join Talentship or Unique, please use this opportunity to register yourself. They will like do the call and you guys can get started. So that's one update.
Guys, like, let's go for the next speaker. No. We are breaking in. So we have our snacks towards the left-hand side. So you guys can, towards the right-hand side. So, okay, it's somewhere on the back side. So you can go there and you can have the snacks. And also you can do networking. You can, if you have any doubts, you can ask the speaker.
Please try to assemble after 15 minutes. We have a quiz which is going to be conducted at 4:15.
So guys, like, make sure you're back here by 4:15.
Can all, yeah. Huh? Game not found. Now? Is it working now? என்னது? Oh. 130 people joined so far. Everyone scanned? Okay, I think we can start now. Okay, 144 people. I think that's the total count, I think. I think 180 is the total count. So anyone missed? Huh? 190 is the total count. So can we start or people are scanning still? At the back.
People at the back.
Sathya. விடுங்க ப்ரோ அவங்கள.
Sathya and gang.
Quiz. குட்டீஸ் வேணாமா? ஏன் பேஸ் இருக்கு? Hello. Okay. I think I'll start now. So, okay. So everyone here uses JavaScript, right? Huh? Yeah. So this is not how you write JavaScript. This is the weird way of, weird functionality of JavaScript, I would say. So don't write these kind of codes, but this is the fun quiz that we're going to play. So I'll explain how it goes. So I'll show you a code like this, and you have to, there will be options. You have to choose a option. So any guesses what the option would be? What would be the output of this? Anyone? Just tell anything. Huh? Option illa bro. Huh? Object? No. What is it? Undefined? No. No. Who said empty string? Empty string is the answer. So plus operator, right? So this is the explanation. Plus operator is overloaded. So it will cause the empty array to empty string. So empty string plus empty string is empty string. So this is how the quiz is gonna be. So let's start. Anyone miss scanning? Scan here. Guys, at the back. Sathya. அவர் மதி கூட மாட்டறாப்ல. சரி, okay. We'll start. Okay. 150. People still scanning. Okay. Scan பண்ணுங்க bro. Time ஆயிடுச்சு. Okay, we'll start. Okay. Sound is the mute. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay. First question.
What is the output for this? So based on the time, you will get
Yeah,
more coins.
so it's fast fingers. So whoever select the answer first also gets higher point. 20 seconds is each question time. 3 more than 2 more than 1. Looks like true or maybe false. False. So, okay. Did we see? I think we missed the winner. Okay, we'll see the next time. So what's the output of this?
I think many of them know this answer.
120 people answered already. Number. Not a number is a number. So who's the leading here?
Who is Devraj?
Devraj is leading, I think. No.
Who is Devraj?
Now we have a new winner.
Oh.
Okay. I think most of them got it right. So I'll just give you a quick explanation of what this is. So not a number, right? So even though it's not a number, it's a special thing. So it is part of the number type. So it's part of the IEEE 748. So that's the answer for this. Let's go to the next question. False double equals 0 in a string.
So what will be the answer for this?
True. False equals. So let's see who's a winner here. Only few people. Now Jew is leading.
Who is Joe?
So false equals 0, right? So it also, as I mentioned, it also performs coercion. So see, 0, false gets converted to 0 because it equals, so it number is 0. And string number 0, that becomes, see, coercion number, so 0 becomes 0. So if you compare that 0 and 0, that becomes true. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, what's the output of this?
It's going to be interesting.
We are adding a new value in the out of bound. So this is the best thing about JavaScript. It never throw any errors. You can do anything.
Yes.
Okay, let's see the leaderboard. Undefined. This kind of makes sense, right? There's nothing to define here. Okay, Rajesh is leading. So this kind of makes sense. So it will create an empty slot, and that empty slot, if you try to access it, that will give an undefined. It won't throw any errors. Okay. What's the output of this? This is kind of tricky. So I'm guessing it is, I don't know. Plus is there, so I think it's okay, 0. No one would have guessed it. Let's see the leaderboard. Only one in the top 10 answered. Oh no, a couple of people. Okay. Still Rajesh is leading.
Where is Rajesh?
Who's Rajesh?
Who is Rajesh?
Oh, engagement. Okay. So how it works is same coercion. Empty array is empty string. So we are comparing, right? True equal to empty string. That's what we are comparing. That is false. So A is false. And same thing, true double equals. So bang of empty string, empty array, that gives false. So empty array is true. Even though it's empty array is true. So if it's not of true is false. So it gives true equals false. That is 1 equals 0. That is false. So if you're adding those two, so this is false, this is false. So false plus false, 0 plus 0, That's 0. So whenever there is a plus, the answer will be a number. So you can rule out the Booleans. Okay. This one is not specific to JavaScript. This happens in many other languages also.
True or false?
So how I would approach this is, whatever your first answer is, clear that. The next answer is the right answer would be. That's false. So let's see the leaderboard. I hope that will be a change. No. No change there.
Still Rajesh.
I don't think we will have a new winner. Let's see.
Who is Arun Kumar?
Oh, nice. Okay. So same thing. 1 plus 3 is 0.3 actually, but how it is stored is the floating points are stored is like this. So it will be 0, 0, 0 and 4 or some other number. So it's false. Okay. What's the output of this? Type of 1. This, if you work it out, it should be good. There's no quirk in there, I would say. Oh, everyone answered. Nice. It's a string. So type of 1. Oh, let's say leaderboard first, and let's move on. Who's leading? Who's leading? Someone. Finally. Oh, okay. Rajesh also got it right. So no one is leading. No one is taking over Rajesh now. Okay. And
Still Rajesh is leading. Who is Shiva next? Second. Shiva?
That is Shiva there. Okay. So type of 1 is a number, but that number, it gives us a number in a string. So that becomes a string. So type of number a string, that's a string. So
Come on guys,
this is a final question, double points. So you might have a chance to take over, Rajesh. Let's see.
Come on guys.
Sorting should be easy, right? But let's see. Seems easy, but we are dealing with JavaScript
tricky,
here.
guys. It's little tricky here.
We are dealing with JavaScript, so don't select the answer that you see. It's 33. 2, 33, and 8. Okay, let's see the leaderboard. Let's see.
We have a winner.
3rd place, Raghav. Who's
Raghav?
Raghav? Big round of applause for Raghav. Hey, the instructor. Then Shiva. Who is Shiva? Shiva is there, and Rajesh. Gifting, ka? Okay. Can you come and collect your gifts first? 3rd place. Wang bro.
Can we give a round of applause to all these guys? See, I know you had snacks, but I didn't see the energy. Come on. Come on. Get up.
And Rajesh. Okay, so the final speaker of the day. Before I introduce the final speaker of the day, let's do a guesstimate, okay? Let's guess how many countries he would have visited. Random guesses. Anyone? Just say a random number. More than that. More than 20. Less than 100. Okay, little bit more than 24, which is 25. and he has been a speaker to 50 plus events. When I asked him what is the actual count, he said like after 50 he did not start counting. So we both also have a lot of similarities. We both did EEE and we both had infinite number of arrears. So without any further ado, let's invite Vilva Athiban. He's a software architect at Omio and he works in the AI space. So let's give it up to Athiban, who's going to have a session on AI IT, AI as a tool, not as a threat. Guys, come on. He has come all the way from Germany for us. Unfortunately, we were not able to connect the slides, but yeah.
Is it clear at the back? Can you guys hear clearly? No?
பின்னாடி வரைக்கும் கேக்குதா? இன்னுமா? பவர் அவ்வளவுதான். ஓகேயா? எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். So இன்னைக்கு டாபிக் வந்து AI as a tool, not a threat. Okay? What is the takeaway today? Zoom. Okay, so what is the takeaway today? After the session, you will not be an expert in AI. You will not build your own LLMs. Then why should you attend the session? You'll just get a perspective on how to approach AI and LLMs. So that's the whole idea of the session. So let me go through the agenda for today. First, we'll discuss about fear of AI, then the evolution of dev tools, then how we use AI in development, then how interviews will change in future, and then we'll see how to use AI as a tool in your workflow, and then we'll see a little bit about RAG, and then I'll show you a cool demo, and we'll wind it off from there. Fear of AI. I want you to be responsive now. Raise your hands who are afraid that AI will take your jobs. Oh, I see so many confident people here. Okay, then I think I'll change the talk and make you fear by the end of the end of the talk. All right, no, I'll make you more confident. So we all have some insecurities, right? Like AI can already build UI like so clean, and it's taking over every stream of every field technically. So people are generally insecure, jobs have gone down, and all those things are there. However, before I get into AI, let's discuss something. How many of you know these icons? What's the first icon? Okay, 90s kids. What's the middle icon? Okay, so then 2000 kids. So everybody will know this. But nobody had a fear when these tools came in. Grunt was super terrific. I could never use it. I had to write a lot of code for even simple actions. And the worst thing is, it was asked in interviews back then. They used to ask me, how will you handle this in Grunt or Gulp file? Then slowly Webpack came. You could bundle apps with very minimal configuration. If you want, you can expand on it. But you could do it with a minimal configuration. And people stopped asking about it in interviews. And then Parcel came, you don't do anything. You just run it and you get the app gets bundled, right? But throughout this whole journey, nobody got fear, nobody got insecure. Everybody learned the new tools and started adopting for the changes. Same thing is happening in AI development right now. Who all use Notepad++ here? Oh, I see more hands than I imagined. Okay, I also use Notepad++. Back in days, when we go to interviews, they used to ask us syntax. I still remember I failed an interview because I didn't remember switch case exactly. So it used to be a terrible times back then where you have to remember everything by the heart. I used to forget my door number sometimes. So it was terrible for me. Then VS Code came. Initially, there were people who advocated not to use the IntelliSense feature of VS Code. They said you will become lazy,
you will start forgetting syntax, so don't use it. But then, right now, that's the new norm, right? Like, I don't think anybody switches off the intelligence feature right now. And how the interviews have evolved. Nobody asks you syntax anymore. In fact, most of the interviews, they let you Google. They let you look out the syntax. They just see how things are. Same way, we now have cursor. It just builds everything for you, but still, you need to tell it what to build. And you need to be specific and very clear about how it works, right? This is the development in AI, and if somebody is afraid of cursor, don't be. So, like we spoke, interviews will change going forward. People will be like, okay, forget FANG. This doesn't apply to FANG. You still need to learn your DSA and algorithms, even if it's like 2050 for FANG. But the other companies, the interview process is slowly changing. I'm seeing many companies slowly changing their processes. Right now, they don't technically ask you to write code, but talk technicalities. So the way you learn programming or the way you build apps is going to change for sure, but your job is not going to go anywhere. That's the whole thing you need to take about AI. Next, AI is a tool. Where can we use AI as a tool? Code generation. That's like everybody know about it. Autocomplete, everybody know about it. But AI can be used in version control as well. You can create automated, there are a few companies which is experimenting right now as we speak with this. They are creating automated PR review comments for every PR you create. They create automatic checks on every code you commit. So it's helping a lot in maintaining quality code. And also it's covering up many cases which we normally don't think. Usually we think about those errors or bugs when somebody shouts at us. Like it goes down in production, then somebody comes to us, then we find about it. But right now AI is very good in detecting it. And making AI as a tool and not seeing it as a one-stop solution or something which does everything magically, if you start including it as a tool in the workflow, you can achieve a lot of magical things in your day-to-day life. Next, don't train any models. Kadavule. Yes. Oh, good. At least some of you are awake. Cool. So, going forward, just for coding purpose, nobody will ever have to build any new models or train your own models. Because the models out there, the LLMs out there, they're so good. They just do everything for you. You just need to know how to use them. So, what does it implies? You don't really have to know machine learning to use AI anymore. You can just use the existing LLMs and then you're good. Now, a little bit of theory, please don't sleep. Retrieval augmented generation named RAG. What it does? Basically, what you do, any, be it ChatGPT or Claude, what you do, you send a prompt. And the AI processes the prompt and gives you an output. What RAG does? It's nothing but when you send prompt, you give AI a context or additional data. So it doesn't have to, you doesn't have to train a model on your own data. Sorry. You doesn't have to train a model on your own data, but on each prompt, you can stub a part of your data as prompt itself, and the AI will use that prompt and data together to give you the desired output. That's RAG. So you retrieve your data depending on the query, and then you augment it or you add it to the prompt, and then you send it to AI and it generates. That's RAG, basically. How does it work? Like I explained, it's just a diagram of my explanation. You ask a question, it retrieves some data from your database, then it gets the data. Full prompt is nothing but the question plus your data. And then the user gets the response from the LLMs. Cool. Now let me show you some demo. That's Mutapu Chekolam Navina mission. First let me explain what I have. I have a very simple React app, like create React app, and then it's just running here. And I have a design system here. I'm a title component, I'm an input component. It's a bit funky with some little animations. And I have my LLM, and what this, here I'm using Llama 3.1. And let me show you a simple question. I'll ask it to build a, should I zoom in? Should I zoom in or is it good? Is it good? Good? Okay, I'll read the prompt for you. No, I need to show the output as well. So build a simple form in React. Somebody can sing a song, it takes a bit, like Llama is slow. Yeah, it's running locally. I mean, security features, you don't have to expose your design system out. I'll explain why. But there is a provision here. This I might release as a CLI later. Instead of Llama, you can choose other ChatGPT and Claude or anything else. So if you see the component, it's just using a regular input or button or text area. It's very common, right? And if we can't complain about it because that's how web is built. However, most of you will be using a design system in your organizations, right? Nobody's going to create anything from scratch. You will just import from your design system and use it. Right now, what you will be doing, you will create something like this, copy paste it, then adjust it based on your design system. That's what we are going to do using RAG. What I'm having is, right now, it's just very simple API call. I just call my local Llama 3.1 through API and pass the prompt, and whatever it returns me, I'm rendering it as Markdown. Very simple project. If I have to render this, I'll show how this looks as preview. So this is my design system, but look how my app looks. It doesn't match. Now I need to do a lot of work to match it to my design system. Let's go and do some ragging. Not the college ragging, but RAG. So what I'm doing here, I'm just getting the context. Okay, before me explaining the code, I'll show you the output. Done. Now I need to restart. I don't have hard. So what I'm doing here, yarn start and I is the input parameter, and I'm giving the path or blob of my design system. Cool, now it's ready. I'll go. I'll repeat the same thing, simple form with the title. Anybody want to sing? They refresh the page. No? Yes. Now let me show you the preview. Yet. Now look at my generator code. I didn't do anything right now, not even a single code change. It already observes my design system and it creates a component whatever I ask for, matching exactly my design system. And how is it possible? Let me now explain a small flow chart and then I'll go for the code. So this is the flow chart. What I'm doing here, there is a CLI which I have built internally that's running. And first it checks whether it's JavaScript or TypeScript. If it's JavaScript, it goes to React docgen. And if it's TypeScript, it's React TypeScript docgen. And what are these tools? Where did I find this from? I was able to figure this out because I never saw AI as a one-stop solution. I saw it as a tool. And these tools, React docgen, is used by Storybook. How many of you here know Storybook? Cool, so some of you. Storybook automatically generates docs for all your components, right? You don't tell it to do anything. it automatically generates what are the props it requires and all this stuff. Likewise, Storybook internally uses this two components to generate that docs. I picked out those two libraries out and combined it with AI. What it does, when I give the input parameter as a glob for my design system, it goes read through all the components, knows what is the prop required for the component, what is the styling for the component and all those details, and creates something called a component JSON. And I pass this JSON. Let me show you the component JSON. This is my component JSON. This is my component JSON. Probably you don't have to understand this code, but this is auto-generated using a library called react.docgen. And this particular component JSON is imported as context and passed to my LLM. I'm just saying, consider below JSON react.docgen components as context. And then imagine yourself as a web developer and build the components. And now whatever I ask, it's just going to go first refer to the context or the component JSON, understand what are the components there, what props it require, and it's going to build an UI which is exactly ready for my production. I don't have to change anything there. This is how, when you visualize AI as a tool, you could do wonders. There are already a lot of ideas and projects I'm doing. If somebody is interested, you can talk to me after the talk. But this is just a sample on what it could do if you start considering it as a tool rather than a one-stop solution. Okay, let me go back to my slides. Now, I thought many will be afraid before and now the fear will be gone, but most of you are not afraid before itself, so I'm not going to go to this. I'm hurt. What's next? Next, you could also think about it. Don't think about your regular workflows where you make mistakes. Wherever you make mistakes, imagine how you could include AI or LLMs as part of your workflows, not as a separate solutions. That way, you will invent new things. Probably from Chennai, we could develop new libraries which could be used globally. And it's a small gift to the community from me. So I built something like this, a relationship counter. Anybody who wants to, again Ajit, so anybody who scans this will get free account there. You can use it 2 times, one maybe for your wife and other for your girlfriend. So post, one request from me is do one and post it in Instagram or somewhere. Other one you can keep it a secret. I wouldn't ask you to post. It's both for friends as well as your partners. Done scanning? Oh, okay. I'll disable the code in 2 hours. Done scanning? Like, it will be free. You just don't have to pay. Just select any plan you want, but you don't have to pay. This link, you can save this link. It will be valid for next 2 hours. After that, it will be gone. Done scanning? All good? All right then, thank you. That's my LinkedIn and Twitter. Give me a follow. Thank you.
Guys, let's give a round of applause to Vilva. Sattama guys, kekla. Now my only fear is my boss and my product manager shouldn't see this video, because till now the only job I have been doing is customizing the components that ChatGPT gave. Now even if that is being done by ChatGPT, there is a higher chance that I might be fired tomorrow. So probably it will be all good until and unless they don't see it. So now for the final segment of the day, we have a panel discussion. Sathya, Vilva and Bavithra. It'll take a couple of minutes to set up. Until then, like if anybody wants to ask any doubt or you want to share something about the event, you can do it. Anyone? Good. I'll call again. Okay, guys, let's give a round of applause to the final segment of the day. Woo! And again, we are having problem connecting the slides. So
Hello? Oh, okay. So let's start the panel discussion. So this is just an informal discussion. So I have a few questions. I'll ask them. They'll share their insights. And at the end, we can take few questions from the audience, and then we will wrap it up. So let's start. Sarvesh, live stream. Okay, cool. Okay, so I started using React close to 5 years ago. And when I started, I haven't used any other framework before. I just used plain JavaScript. So when I started using it, I felt a different shift in the development itself from coming from plain JavaScript. So I want to ask you guys, when did you start using JavaScript, and what differences that you see when compared to other frameworks or plain JavaScript, and especially in terms of the development approach?
Okay, I started using it in like 2016, 17. It was the times of React.createChild, React.create those stuff. It was a bit crazy. I was coming from Angular background, but I didn't have a choice because jobs were only asking for React. So, but then React really developed into my favorite framework. Class components, then the hooks. When hooks came, things became very simpler because during class components, it was not class components that was the problem, but Redux. Understanding Redux and maintaining it, it was pain in the ass. So right now, I think I like React more than when it started. I think React gives you the flexibility to choose what you want. Other frameworks comes like preloaded with everything, like overloading. The learning curve is bigger. You need to understand where to use what, how to use what. You could easily get sidetracked. But React, you can pick what you want and just build on it.
Yeah, that's true. The ecosystem around React is like one of the best. That's like a big differentiator with the other frameworks. But comparing React with other frameworks, one thing that stands out to me, something that we think about on the React is how do we enable people to build good complex apps easily, right? So now you've heard of other frameworks like Svelte and Angular and Solid. They all have this new primitive called signals, and React doesn't have that. So that's something we think about. Like, is this a good primitive? How is it different from React? And when you actually look at the kind of code you end up writing with something like signal, you end up thinking more about how to structure your code rather than thinking about how to build my app. What is the feature I need to build? How do I build my feature fast? So that's a big thing people don't think about. Like you get more performance with something like Signals, but you get similar kinds of performance now with React compiler. So to me, being able to write just vanilla JavaScript using the same React concepts from the beginning, where UI is a function of state, is like the biggest reason I like React.
When did you start using it? Is it when you joined Meta or even before that?
I actually didn't use React much until I joined the team. And I actually haven't written a lot of React, like product code. So I don't think I'm qualified to answer that part.
Okay.
So actually, I started my career at like Angular 1. So directly jump into Angular, not even JavaScript like that. Because when I come to the 2016, right, when I started my career, so HTML, CSS, and directly Angular, because Angular is booming on that time, right? So I'm directly learning that, and after that, I just while React and all is coming in the picture, again my manager is learning, asked me to learn React. So in that time, I have learned JavaScript and React like that. So how the React is like improvising means like in terms of kind of polyphasing and bundle is minimized nowadays, and also performance wise. Everything is actually day by day it is increasing, right? And as he said, right, like React hook, which is a tremendous changes after 16, React 16, right? So that's and all is very good because with the class component, actually I struggled a lot by doing everything in the class component. But once the React hook is come in the picture, with the functional components itself, we can do everything, right? So that things and all, and that is kind of even Angular and all in the framework, we have to download everything we have to download in our local, and then we have to run it. But in React, not like that, right? We have this, it's a library kind of, and then we can incorporate like everything, like we can, what and all we need, like that we can thing, right? So as of now, actually React is kind of, we are, as in a Walmart, right? If we are going for the project means, like we are open for
Default
React only.
standard.
Yeah, of course, default is React.
Okay. So this question is specific to Sathya. So React has been there for more than a decade. I think it developed in 2013 when it's released for the public. So what is the motivation for the React team to build the compiler now? So it's been there for 10 years. So what is the motivation behind it, and how does it impact the community going forward?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of history with the compiler. So the React team has been trying to build a compiler for the last 10 years now. So ever since the first release, almost since 2015, we've been trying to build a compiler. But we weren't able to build it with class components. Actually, hooks, we added hooks because it enabled the compiler. So we've been thinking about this for a long time. There was like an initial attempt at making a compiler way back, but it did not work out. And we've been trying, this is like the third attempt at building a compiler that actually works now, because it's very complex to build a compiler for JavaScript that runs ahead of time, because JavaScript is very complex. There's too many dynamic behaviors. So if you think about it, hooks actually makes everything more static. So it helps the compiler. And class components, everything is very dynamic from a compiler point of view, not from like a programmer point of view. So I think the compiler would not be possible with something like hooks. But hooks came out in like 2016, and the compiler is coming, it's still not stable now, right? So that's how far we've been thinking about building a compiler. And even now, like we have like, there's a vision for what is coming in the next 10 years. So that's kind of like the time horizon that we work on. And then as far as for the community, to me, like I said, like React exists to help you build apps. And memorization is not something that helps you with building an app. It's just for performance. And we want to remove all of that friction away. So it's going to help the community not think about performance, not think about memorization. They can just like, you can think about how to build UI. So that's the guiding principle.
Okay. And so React compiler is now in beta version, right? So can we still use it in production, or should we wait for?
So if we are using it in production at Facebook, I think all the websites, every JS code, every React code at Meta is compiled with the React compiler. So it is stable, but since it's still beta, I would recommend not shipping to production right now. I would recommend testing your app right now with the compiler, adding a CI pipeline that runs with the compiler. And if there are any issues, please let us know so we can fix it and then get the stable with the fixes.
So the point is sometimes how Meta implements React and how other companies implement React or other community implements React is different. So I'll come to that next question, but before that, so the suspense behavior has changed recently in the React 19 initial RC release. So that has sparked a lot of heated discussions in the React community. So can you explain why is that and what causes that, what changed and what causes that discussion?
So are people here familiar with the issue with suspense from the 19 release? I hear some, but not a lot from the other side. So I'll give you a brief overview of what happened before. So in the React 18 version, the way suspense works is you have a suspense boundary, and then you have components that are like child components under the suspense boundary. And if you have a list of sibling components for that, and the first sibling, suspense, we would still render all of the siblings, not just the first one and stop. But with React 19, what we did was we would only render the first sibling component and then suspend, because the rendering the second and third or the other items is unnecessary work, right? We're just going to throw it away and show the fallback. So we changed the behavior, but this caused a lot of issues because what we saw in the community was developers would trigger a fetch in each of these sibling components. So what was a parallel fetch in React 18 became a waterfall in React 19. So in React 18, even though the first one suspends, we would still render all the components. So it would kick off the fetch, and they would all run parallelly. And in 19, what would happen is the first one would suspend, and we would stop and not render the rest. So there would be no fetch request kicked off. The first one would finish, and then the second one will start rendering. So so it's like a waterfall behavior. So we fixed that recently by coming with a hybrid approach. So we do render all the components, so there is no waterfall. It is running in parallel, but we do commit the first. As soon as the first one suspends, we commit the fallback and show that. So it's not delayed. The UI and the UX is still good.
Okay. Want to add anything to that? Okay, cool. So next question is related to hiring. So I'm sure a lot of people might be looking for jobs and might be hiring as well. So how do you do hiring in your company? So how do you hire front-end developers? What do you look for?
Are you asking for the question paper?
Like what kind of expertise or things that you look for in people? It would be useful for people who are applying for jobs and also for hiring as well.
I think it strangely differs from company to company, and sometimes even within the same company, different interviewers look for different things. But personally, what I look is, whatever they claim to know, they should know it well. For example, for a role of React developer, we have taken people who doesn't know React, but whatever they know, be it JavaScript or Angular or whatever it is, they were very strong in it. Only when they claim they know a lot of things and they are not able to live up to the expectations, then it creates a negative impact on them. Because most of the companies, when they are hiring, they can't get tailor-made people. In spite of hiring anybody, they will have to understand their company's ecosystem, their company's pipelines, and their local design systems and all those things. So nobody's tailor-made for a role, and the companies are not looking for tailor-made people. They just want, at least I want to get a confidence in the person who I'm interviewing that he will be able to do it. And how I will get a confidence? Whatever he claims he knows, he should know it well. And whatever he doesn't know, he should admit he doesn't know. So that's the base rule I have during my hiring.
So I've only worked in big tech companies, so the interviews are like pretty standard. But the big tech companies, it's mostly data structures algorithms. But this is not something people know. At Meta, we have a separate track for UI engineers. So if you are a front-end developer and you know React really well, we have a different pipeline that tests you and asks you questions about React. So you don't have to think, you don't have to be worried about, hey, I need to learn data structure algorithms. You can still interview with Meta as a front-end engineer. So when you apply to Meta, just tell the recruiter, I'm a front-end engineer, I want to go through that pipeline. And then, yeah, I think that's the main.
Actually, in Walmart, right? When we are interviewing, like, actually now I'm a senior, so I don't know about how senior developers and all interviewing, but for the front end role or for the initial developer, or intern, or kind of junior level, like. So how we are doing means, like, first we are checking like how well their algorithm thinking is, how they are logically thinking in order to fix, if the problem statement is given, then how they are resolving, like, towards solution, how they are propagating it. So that's we are dip into it by giving some solution, by giving some questions like that. And the second thing is, like, for example, the JavaScript engine, how it is working, right? Irrespective of you are from React or Angular, even I entered as an Angular developer, but now I'm working as React, right? If next time, if Next.js means, I'm okay to work on the Next.js. So the thing is how the JavaScript engine is work, how the rendering is working, so how the back out of the website, how everything is working around. So that's we are expecting from the candidate. So as a front-end developer, we have to well versed over there, like how the things are and all happening behind the scene. So that's a thing, yeah.
Is there a separate pipeline for front-end, back-end, full stack, or mobile?
No. Actually, when candidates is appearing, right, we are asking them, like, that's a kind of phone call like that, like whether they are what familiarized language they are, like JavaScript or Java, like that. So then from there only we are progressing it, yeah.
Okay. So now let's talk about React Server Components. So, so when do you think it makes sense to use React Server Components, and when do you think you won't recommend using them? Talk about that.
Okay. So actually the server side component, right?
Yeah,
so
correct.
that thing, actually it is better for the performance based thing only. Like if the rendering very fast, so that time we are going for that. Actually, for in that perspective only we are going for. But if your page is dynamic, like if your application is so dynamic, means we are not going for that server side and also it's totally depend upon your application perspective. Like that only we have to use it, whether that is a server component or whether that is a dynamic or config, like that, which we have to do it.
So the rule of thumb I have is if it can be a server component, it should be a server component. That's the easy way to think about it. If you need state, if you need context, then it cannot be a server component. It's a dynamic component. It's going to be on the client side. Anything else should be a server component, and that's it.
Anything to add? So
Anything else means like anything, meaning there is no in terms of which perspective, right? So how, if any application, ideal application, if you are going to do the server component, what things and all you are looking for?
So I would, if I'm starting a new application, I would start with the default as server components. And then if I need to add interactivity to my app, like I'm adding like a table or like a Stripe checkout, those components will be client components, but everything else would be a server component.
Meaning that home page, like you're in terms of e-commerce website you are saying, right?
Sure, yeah, I think
so,
that.
Yeah, I understood. Like this config UI, that's your driven UI, that's you're talking about, or?
So,
okay.
If your page has to be served for SEO, if you need certain things just on the first load, even before interactivity kicks in or before JavaScript kicks in, I would choose a server component. And if it can wait, like if it's not required for SEO and if it can wait and if it also will change often, then I'll not use a server component.
There's like, wait, I need to clarify. Like this, so a general thing to think about server components is there's server-side rendering, right? So your client components can be rendered on the server for the initial load. And then it gets hydrated and it becomes a client-side SPA app, right? That's the traditional, that's the thing that we've been using for until React 18. But with React 19, there's a new server components. So these components cannot be rendered on the client. They can only be rendered on the server. So you will have client components and server components that are rendered on the server as part of server-side rendering for the initial load. And then for anything that happens, only the client components are going to be hydrated in that app, right? Only the table component, only the certain components that are client components will be hydrated, not the whole page. That is the main difference. Yeah, in terms of SSR with the old React 18 and React 19. So now any new navigation you do will be server-side rendered. And only the client-side components will be rehydrated on the client side. So nothing, if you don't have any interactivity, there's no client-side app, then everything runs on the server. And it runs on demand. It doesn't run, it can also run ahead of time, but that's a separate concept. That's called server-side generation, SSG. So there's a lot of mixed terminology when we say server-side rendering. Hopefully that clarifies a bit of the different concepts.
Yeah, so server components introduce this render as you fetch as you render, right? So those concepts, fetch as you render and render as you fetch. So I mean, Facebook recommends only render after you fetch it. So I mean, that's what Relay has been doing.
Yeah.
So do you guys use in server components in Meta or?
But a lot of how Meta is, actually, let me go back. So Meta uses this thing called GraphQL. Have folks heard of GraphQL? Okay, awesome. So Relay is a client library for GraphQL. And we use Relay with React to fetch data using GraphQL. GraphQL is just like REST. It's like a API endpoint. So what we thought of, so the problem with Relay was you need a GraphQL server and you need to have a GraphQL setup to use this, which is a lot of work. So we were like, how do we bring the good benefits of Relay to React developers who don't use GraphQL? And the answer was server components. So a lot of what we use at Meta is server components, except we don't use it in the form of server components. Relay.
Okay.
That's the way we think about it. Hopefully that clarifies how we think of server components. Right? Server components solves a lot of issues. For example, there's no hooks in server components. There's no use effect, right? There's no use state. There's nothing to memorize. For example, there's no state. There's no effects to worry about. So it solves a lot of problems, and you don't have to worry about data fetching. You can do any fetch request from your server component directly. Yeah. So that's the way to think. It's replacing your backend system. You don't have to write a new API with server components. So server components is not making compare server components with React plus Express.js or any server like Rails. That's the comparison because you don't have to write your backend anymore. Server components is your backend.
That's nice. So, want to add something? Oh, okay, cool. So, what kind of developer productivity tools that you guys use in your day-to-day life? Whether it's VS Code extensions or AI tools that improves the productivity. development in general or anything in React also?
Recently, it's a lot of AI related tools. So, like I showed you, I actually use the CLI. I didn't just demo it. I haven't put it outside, but I personally use it in a lot of places. Then Cursor, I'm using it for my personal projects, not for my office projects. Then I like to keep many things minimal, so I don't use a lot of tools. But with AI related, I'm using quite a bit.
Okay.
So in day-to-day life, so actually we have AI like Gen AI. So recently I'm just using it for doing the work done easily. And VS Code there is some extension. So we have if you have premium, then we can use that also. And kind of source map and other tools we are day-to-day we are all using. I think, right? I don't know like a new thing.
Yeah, I mostly just use the we internally at Meta we have our own equivalent of ChatGPT, so I use that. We have our own version of Copilot. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be AI. So what I use, for example, is for TypeScript, right? To showing the errors correctly, there is an extension, TypeScript error extension. So that
For productivity.
yeah, just productivity. So for example, that what does this?
Console log.
Yeah. So similar to that.
I use console log. That is my productivity hack.
And also for React also, right? It shows some errors. If you use it incorrectly, there's an extension that React team recommends as well. So if you use a memo incorrectly, it shows you don't use that.
Oh yeah, the ESLint.
ESLint, yes.
Yeah, we have ESLint plugins that will help you write like correct React code. Use that. It will like catch a lot of issues that I talked about today. I don't know if there's any other project. Like one thing that I do for like at work is I have this note-taking app called LogSeek. I don't know if people have heard of mind mapping. So you can create like a graph of all the things in your mind as notes, and it'll be a connected graph. So I use that a lot when I'm learning something new. So that is my personal productivity hack. Yeah. It's exactly like Obsidian. There's like lots of tools.
Okay. Okay. So that's all of questions I have. We can take OP. Go. Mike.
It's a funny question. So I saw a meme called regarding to React using. So we use this, right? Using. Okay, I'll explain it again. Okay. By everything, right? Okay. So speak like I'm just using memos. I'm just using callback. Will there something called using? So that was a meme I thought. Meme I saw. So my question was, what was the notion behind it? So
Behind
that,
why the directives came
prefix,
and like why it became
the prefix used.
But so there's like multiple things here. One is the directive, which is like a string use strict whatever, right? And then there's the use hooks that start with use.
Your question is on the hooks, right? Use.
You're not asking about the hooks. You're asking about the directive.
Yeah, I'm just asking about the prefix itself. Is there any notion behind it? Yeah.
So the use prefix in the directive is part of JavaScript. There is a JavaScript directive called use strict. We copied that, so that has nothing to do with us. For hooks, we added the use prefix. So that is something that the way we think about hooks is from this language called OCaml. It's a functional programming language. And they have this concept of algebraic data types. And they have this concept of hooks in that. So a lot of the hooks in React is inspired from that. And they have a keyword for calling a hook. We don't have keywords that we can create. So we added a prefix called use. That's the history. I don't know why exactly use and not something else. I wasn't there for that, but this is the reason for having a prefix.
Thank you.
Okay, here's a question. Bro, bro. Bro.
Okay, my first time all three speakers is coming in traditional dresses. So may I know the reason?
Bro, this React panel, brother.
Like,
React panel discussion.
Vinay is wish to comment, like, you itself answer.
So, I mean, the Western wears we wear are not our clothes, right? So as long as I was an attendee in conferences, I was going in Western wear. But when I started speaking for past 3 years in every event, I try to comment dhoti. And today I just influenced them, that's it.
Actually, it's very nice to see those things in traditional wear, and it's like I could easily identify you as a speaker when the thing.
Thank you.
நானும் சேர்த்து வச்சிட்ட வேஷ்டி மாதிரி எனக்கு இல்லையா
செலோட்டே போட்டு விட்டுறேன் நடக்க முடியாம.
Hey Sathya.
Hello.
Yeah.
So when is the release of React 19?
React 19 is coming soon.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
வரும்.
Okay.
They actually released the version 2 of the release candidate.
Yeah. Last week we released.
I noticed, but when is the actual release of React 19?
It's coming soon. We've released, I mean, we've fixed all the bugs. I don't think there's going to be any new feature. It is very, very close.
Okay. Thanks for that. My actual question, so what is the plan you guys having in React team about supporting web components? You guys already supporting web components in React 19. That is coming up, I'm aware. So it's about supporting web components in RSC, React Server Components. So currently you cannot use RSC web components in RSC, right? So because there is a hydration for rendering web components, you need to do the hydration. So
No.
it has to be a client component.
Right. But you can't run web components on the server. So I don't think we can support. I think this is something web components has to add support for running on the server. Right? Because you need DOM for the web components. I don't think you can run on the server.
Okay. So there is a API called declarative shadow DOM. So that is about solving the web component problem with the React Server components. So do you know what is the priority of implementing that?
I don't know much about the declarative shadow DOM, so I can't really answer this. Yeah,
Sure.
I haven't followed
Okay.
this, so I don't know.
Sure.
But yeah, if I find out, I will follow up. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, we'll catch up.
Thank you.
I'll follow my question in
That's
Twitter and LinkedIn so that you can get some details. Thank you.
Hey, hi team. My question is on Next.js versus Remix, which is both built on React, right? Both are a full stack application. I've been using Next.js for the last 2 years, which is really amazing to, go for a full stack. When is React team is planning to come a full stack application? Like a full stack application, I mean,
Like
full
our
stack
own
framework. Framework, yeah.
There's no plan for us to build a meta framework. We don't want to build a meta framework. We will help others build meta framework. So if you are building a meta framework, I will help you.
Okay. And I have a shared question on this too. Like, what do you prefer over Next.js or Remix? Because I've been using, I'll just complete my question because it's been a pretty much a bigger question. Because I've been using Next.js for the last 2 years. My friends has been telling, go for Remix. Remix is better than Next.js. And even the ChatGPT, which is built on a full stack application before it was on Next.js, they have migrated like 3 months before into a Remix. So what do you prefer, like going for a full stack application framework as in Remix or Next.js?
I personally don't have an opinion on this, and that as a React team member, we don't have a recommendation. We think they are both very good frameworks. You should try both, see what works for you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
I have a question. So React 19 is officially supporting the React server component, right?
Yeah.
So whether they're going to support the React itself, or we need to depend on other frameworks like.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, and this is a question I keep getting asked. Um, the way to use server components is you cannot use it on its own. To use server components, you need a router, you need a bundler. So there's a lot of missing pieces that you need to add to make full use of server components. So if you start doing that, after a month you'll end up with something like Remix or Next. So you will end up with a meta framework, and we don't want to build a meta framework. We only want to build the low-level primitives, which will let everyone build their own meta frameworks. We have a meta framework at Meta. We use it internally, but we cannot open source it because it is very tightly coupled with our internal infra. So we don't expect anyone to use server components with just React. You will always end up needing an external, like you will either end up having to build your own meta framework, or you will have to use a meta framework like Next or Remix or Redwood.
Okay. I think
Like they told that in React Native they're going to officially support, right? So what kind of support we can expect from React Native in the future version?
So what this means is it's stable for other frameworks to start using it, not for, we don't expect end users to start using it. So it's stable for other frameworks. It's already been stable, like Next has released a stable version using this, but other frameworks have given us feedback that they don't want to start using it until it's in a stable release of React. So we're releasing a stable version of React, and they will start supporting. Like Remix will soon get once we release the 19 release. Yeah.
can take one last question and we can wind up.
Hi team, I'm Anand. Since we are in the AI boom and a lot of companies are going with AI tools and even Google has said their 25% of the new code is AI generated. So how your companies has been implementing, so how the codes are being AI generated or something like?
So officially or unofficially, I think most of us use AI to generate code. So I can't share details of what we do exactly in a company, but yes, every company is working towards, every company I know, I have friends in, they are working towards automating most of the code we write manually. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, there are a lot of efforts in almost every company I know.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for the discussion.
Guys, let's give a round of applause one last time for Bavithra, Vilva, and Sathya, and also for Nikhil. Okay, so I request everyone to please wait now for the felicitation ceremony. Yeah, we have. Okay, so I invite Shanti. Yeah, I invite Shanti to felicitate Sathya. I invite Nikhil to felicitate Bavithra. And finally, I invite Surya to felicitate Vilva. Okay, guys. So that's it for today. Okay, but so guys, like, did you learn? Nice. So next time you can also be here. We are actively looking for speakers. You can reach out to any Chennai React volunteer to apply for a speaker role. And also, so this has the call for speakers email ID and all the details here, which you can use it. And also we have put in a lot of effort to organize this. So this time I was like very close to the team, and only this time I just knew how much effort and how much work the team has put in. So it would be really nice if you could actually give us some feedback, so that like we can correct next time. Is everyone done? So even in your email, you'll be getting the feedback link. So now we are also actively looking for sponsors. So as a sponsor, your logo will be displayed on our website and also on our social media link. And you'll also be getting a dedicated speaking slot. And finally, you will have an opportunity to showcase your product and also have a hiring desk in our venues. So if you know anybody who can sponsor us, it will be really good. And yeah, you can just email at chennaireactjs@gmail.com. So on February, we are going to have our next offline event, and we are planning something big. That is also like 1 year of Chennai React.js. So it'll be a really long event. We're planning something big. So yeah, let's see. It's a surprise. So that's it from our side, guys. It has been a wonderful crowd here. Thank you so much. And finally, we'll have a networking session, and we'll also have a photography. Also, Bavithra has a giveaway event. So we'll do that.
So, sorry. Sorry. So I hope everybody cast your vote, right? Yeah, so actually we have your list. So I would like to give a token of gratitude for any one of the lucky participants. So we do have your list of details while you are giving in the register. So here we have one application. So we are going to click a randomly we are picking a selected thing, like, and we are while getting the thing right, like you have to show your screenshot. So that's it. Kanagaraj, who is this? You didn't do a. So okay, next thing. Who's this? திருப்பியும் பண்ணலன்னு மட்டும் சொல்லிடாதீங்க.
Rajesh, TPI 813.
Hey, do you need QR to display again? Hey. Hey, only 2 minutes. Please cast your vote.
So guys, come on. You can do it.
Is everybody done? So we can start. Okay, we are starting. Everybody done, right? Yeah, thank you.
dastagar2k@gmail.com. dastagar2k@gmail.com. Anyone? Sorry?
Yeah, same who register over here. இல்ல 198 தான் இருந்துச்சு. So okay, next.
Rajkumar.
குமார் திருமலை கண்ணி.
Dude, you're there? Nope, 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 nope. One last time, guys. Appane Vinayaka. Narmada.
இருக்கீங்களா?
Finally. Narmada, have you voted?
எங்க screen? Okay, okay. So screenshot இல்லையா? So vote பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone who support me. Thank you so much.
So we'll just take one photo session, okay? So I request everyone to take your bags and come forward. We'll just take one photo and then we'll leave. We'll have to.
Guys, I want everyone to come front. We need to move the chair back. So